Freeport police identify a man murdered over the weekend. They're asking for the public's help in finding a suspect for the crime.
Plus, people living in a Rockford apartment complex evacuate because of flooding. Firefighters say the building's sprinklers sprayed water without any flames.
And a local museum announces a change in leadership. The incoming director says she's excited for the Discovery Center's future.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. We now know the name of the man murdered in Freeport over the weekend.
A little before 2:30 Saturday morning, Freeport police were called to South Oak Avenue just north of West Empire Street. Officers found Javarsky McGee suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to a hospital and later pronounced dead. Investigators say he was shot during a fight with other male suspects. No arrests have been made. Police say the shooting is an isolated incident and was not gang-related. If you have any information, call Freeport Police or State Line Area Crime Stoppers.
This bitterly cold weather causes some problems across the state line.
An apartment building in Rockford had to evacuate people because of frozen pipes which burst. Drea Baroni joins us now. Drea, what happened?
Yeah, Eric and Mimi, Rockford Fire Department confirmed a sprinkler pipe froze, then ruptured yesterday afternoon at the Valley View Senior Apartments. Corazon Olson is a caregiver with clients living in the apartments. She tells me the burst pipe forced people to temporarily relocate. Olson says that's not the only issue with the building.
It's cold all over in this room. My client's room is very cold. And my other client, they take him to a Heritage Woods last night because he can get up because both elevators are not working.
I reached out to Valley View for more information. The person I spoke with on the phone said no one was available to comment. Mimi, Eric.
Thanks, Drea.
Strong winds continue to blow through the state line.
And temperatures are stuck right around the 0-degree mark. Let's check back in with Candace for a look at when we might warm up a bit. Candace.
Yeah, I think warm up could be a relative term here going Wednesday into Thursday because those temperatures will climb into the teens, so a little warmer than where we've been the last couple of days, and something to celebrate along with the sunshine this afternoon. Our numbers did make it above 0 for many locations here, so that is a plus. We did climb to 0 over the last couple of hours in Rockford, but that number back down to 1 below. Feels like 22 degrees below 0. You're still at 0 degrees in Freeport, 18 below the current wind chill, and 21 degrees below 0 right now, the wind chill out in Galena. Even though our temperatures have kind of warmed a little, relatively speaking, we still do have the wind chill advisory that remains in effect for all of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin, and this will run through tomorrow morning as wind chills tomorrow morning expected to drop down 20 to 25 degrees below 0. So not quite as cold as what it's been in the last couple of mornings, but still something to take seriously as frostbite on exposed skin can occur within a matter of 20 to even 30 minutes. Now, we have had the breeze out there, which has kind of pushed those wind chill numbers down a bit for this afternoon. Sustained winds from the southwest, 10 to 20 miles per hour. At times, we have had winds gusting at around 25 to even 30 miles per hour. Now, through tonight, wind chills will get as low as 25 below as the wind kind of relaxes just a bit still from the west and southwest at about 15 miles per hour. Some good news for tomorrow afternoon. Wind chills anywhere from 0 to 5 below, and by late tomorrow afternoon, our wind chill numbers will be climbing back up above 0 as the temperature also warms too. But we are going to see another drop in those numbers by the end of the week before a warm-up returns next week, which could bring in itself some different issues. So we'll talk about that in the forecast a little later.
Thanks, Candace. We'll see you then. The dangerous cold prompts Chicago to temporarily shut down the migrant intake center in the South Loop. For now, dozens of people have been moved to the Harold Washington Library and other shelters. They had been staying on warming buses at the landing zone as they waited for placement. The bitter temperatures also prompted Mayor Brandon Johnson to postpone a meeting with other local mayors. They planned to talk about regional solutions to the migrant crisis.
I have a commitment to bring people together. Whomever will, they'll come, to create an infrastructure, but also create some coordination to bring some humanity and dignity to this crisis.
No buses carrying migrants have arrived from Texas since Saturday. That's one day after Governor Pritzker urged Texas to pause drop-offs during the dangerous cold.
If you're an animal lover, you may stop and wonder what happens to them during these cold temperatures. Aikman Wildlife Adventures in Arthur, south of Savoy, Illinois, has been working hard to keep their animals comfortable. There are many animals who can tolerate this type of cold, like elk, sheep, and bison. But ones that can't are kept inside with heat lamps and wood shavings on the ground to help keep them warm during the winter months.
Put a different kind of water out for some of the different areas, and just doing our best to make sure we have a stock of heat lamps and heat bulbs inside it and different space heaters and things like that that we can pull from whenever we need to use one for a certain animal or a certain area.
When warmer weather returns, they'll clean the stalls and take out the insulation so the animals don't overheat.
A Rockford museum is changing leadership at the end of the month. Sarah Wolf is ending her 4-decade tenure as Discovery Center's executive director. Today, Lana Paris was appointed to take over. Paris already works for Discovery Center as development director. She says she's excited to lead the museum into its next ambitious phase.
One of the things I've taken a lot of time to do is really spend time within the walls of the museum and really observe and really have conversations with our visitors and the children who are here and see what things they're engaging with and what things makes them excited and how we can continue to offer all of that for our community.
Paris takes over as executive director February 1st.
Former President Donald Trump pulls ahead to win the Iowa caucus.
Up next, candidates shift their focus to the Northeast ahead of next week's primary there.
And coming up at 6, electric vehicles are having trouble handling the cold temperatures. Some local drivers share the headaches they're experiencing at charging stations.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Former President Donald Trump wins the Iowa caucuses by 30 points over Ron DeSantis, with Nikki Haley close behind in third place.
The attention is now on New Hampshire, where candidates are already making their case ahead of next week's primary. ABC's Eyewitness is in Washington with the latest.
Former President Donald Trump, fresh off his commanding 30-point victory in Monday's Iowa caucuses, now focusing on the New Hampshire primary.
The big night is going to be in November, when we take back our country, and truly, we do make our country great again.
I don't think it took an oracle to know that we're just going through the motions and that President Trump is the nominee.
The Iowa caucuses narrowing the Republican field, with Vivek Ramaswamy bowing out of the race, then endorsing Trump. And now, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, who is openly critical of Trump, suspending his campaign after coming in 5th place in the caucuses, securing just 190 votes.
They threw everything but the kitchen sink at me during this process.
Runner-up Governor Ron DeSantis taking his 2nd place finish to New Hampshire, where he looks to overtake Nikki Haley in the state. Polls showing Haley within striking distance of Donald Trump.
Nikki Haley said only the top 2 from Iowa, go on to be viable. Well, guess what? We punched our ticket out of Iowa yesterday.
Meanwhile, Haley now saying she will only participate in the next presidential debate if Trump or President Biden is involved, leaving DeSantis as the only candidate committed to Thursday's event so far.
Americans don't want to see Trump or Biden. The majority of Americans disapprove of both of them.
A Trump campaign spokesperson did not immediately respond to a message seeking comment if Trump will take part in Thursday's debate. He skipped all the primary ones so far. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
Much of the state line is under a wind chill advisory till tomorrow afternoon.
After the break, Candace will detail our cold temperatures and tell us about our snow chances and when a warm-up could be coming.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
It's nice to see some sunshine, and our temperature is actually warming a little this afternoon, if you could call it that, but at least there were a few more locations that made it up to 0 and even above that late this afternoon. Our numbers still at 1 below in Rockford, 2 below currently in Rochelle, 1 above in Janesville, Monroe, and you're right at 0 in Freeport. However, our wind chill numbers, those are still down 20 to 25 degrees below 0 here, and those numbers will stay in that range as we go throughout the night tonight. 3 below for our weather watcher Terry down in in Genoa. Dew point temperature sits at 7 below. Southwesterly winds sustained at 15 miles per hour. Have had some gusts today close to 20. Now our winds have been a little on the breezier side here as of late, and that has caused some blowing and drifting back on some of those north-south roads. But this is pretty interesting. We made it to 0 degrees at 3 o'clock. We fell below 0 late Saturday night. That means we spent roughly about 64 hours where our temperature sat below 0 degrees. To kind of put this into perspective, remember that deep freeze we had end of January 2019 when we broke our record low temperature of 31 degrees below 0? 57 hours we spent that time with temperatures below 0. So technically a little colder, or longer, not colder, I should say longer time where our temperatures sat below 0. Now we are going to see sub-zero numbers return here by the end of the week, following a little bit of a warm-up Wednesday, Thursday. Warm-up I use loosely because temperatures are going to be in the teens, and we do have a chance for a couple of snow showers there. Lots of sunshine we had out there earlier, starting to see a little cloud cover kind of work in from the northwest. It's making for a beautiful sunset out there. It is just cold, and unfortunately that wind will kind of continue here for the next few hours. So while it's not a significant threat or an impact as the sun does set, with some of that blowing snow on those north-south roads, maybe a couple of slick spots that'll develop here, especially as the sun goes down. Southwesterly winds sustained 10 to 20 miles per hour. Our gusts will come down a little for tonight, right around 15 miles per hour. But again, still some blowing snow on some of the east-west roads, and may see some slick conditions that'll continue there going into tomorrow. And the same thing for tomorrow afternoon. Our wind kind of comes back up from the southwest and west at about 20 miles per hour. So temperatures tonight will drop down to 6 below. Our wind chills will fall as low as 20 to 25 degrees below 0. That is why we do have a wind chill advisory that remains in effect for the entire region through tomorrow morning. But look at that, 13 above for tomorrow afternoon. We are going to see a little more cloud cover, and there is a chance for some snow to return late. That is coming from a system that'll work in from the northwest and kind of pass through as we head into the late evening and overnight hours. Now, while this isn't going to be a significant event, the fact that our temperatures are so cold means that anything that does come down, even if it is light, will stick. And that could cause some issues late Wednesday evening, overnight, and into early Thursday. A couple of locations will see that. I think right now the greatest threat will be along that Interstate 88 corridor. Could see a couple of flurries as far north as the state line or even into southern Wisconsin. We keep some of the cloud cover around going into Thursday, but then Thursday evening, probably after about 7, 8 o'clock, we've got another system that comes in. This one I think gives us a better chance for some light snow for everyone Thursday night into early Friday. So again, temperatures are going to be cold enough where 1, that's going to stick. 2, that could cause some pretty slick conditions going into Friday morning, so that'll impact Friday morning's commute. Then we see a drop in our temperatures behind that as the wind picks up. So that's where our numbers will drop back below 0 Friday night, and then again Saturday night with high pressure, and we've got single-digit highs both days. But our numbers will warm. We're back up close to 30 at least early next week, but I think that could come with a chance for a mix, at least on Monday, as that moisture surges northward, and that mix may also include some freezing rain. So something we'll keep an eye on for Monday. Likely we'll see some rain showers there going into Tuesday.
We need to huddle around Monday and Tuesday for warmth on that 7-day. Thanks, Candace.
Wisconsin next with sports. He'll bring us up to speed on the Packers' preparations for the 49ers and the status of one key 49ers player for this weekend.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
The clock is ticking already on the Packers as they get set for the 49ers. The Packers know this game is going to be far more challenging than the Cowboys game was. The fact that it's a Saturday game this weekend means the Packers have one less day to prepare. Plus, they're on the road again, and this time they have a farther trip out to California. Matt LaFleur passed on the idea of leaving early for California. Instead, the Packers will get in their workouts in Green Bay.
It's something we talked about, but we figured it'd be best to stay in our normal routine. Being that it's a short week anyways, has its own set of challenges, and there's going to be a lot of, I'd say the majority of the week's going to be more jog through tempo. They might be able to have some live reps towards the end of the week. Felt like it was best for us to stay in as normal as a routine as possible.
The 49ers look like they will be healthy going into the game Saturday night. Running back Christian McCaffrey returned to practice today and was a full participant. He injured a calf in the next to last regular season game and set out the 49ers' final game. Meanwhile, 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan, a guy who knows quarterbacks, is extremely impressed with Jordan Love.
Just to watch him each game, he's been consistent. For him to take care of the ball the way he's done has been unbelievable. I mean, the 21 touchdowns and 1 pick, I think over the last 10 games is unbelievable. He's extremely consistent in what they're asking him to do.
The Packers and 49ers go at it, of course, Saturday night, and you can see that game on Fox 39 starting at 7 o'clock. Eagles center Jason Kelce has played his last NFL game. He told his teammates after last night's loss that he is retiring. Kelce spent his entire 13-year NFL career in Philadelphia. He's considered a lock to make the Hall of Fame. He's a 6-time NFL All-Pro center. Well, the NFL playoffs have just started, and there are signs of baseball starting. The White Sox equipment truck was packed up today and set off for Glendale, Arizona. It'll still be another month before spring training begins, but many players report ahead of time to start working out on their own. That's sports. We'll be right back.
When it's this cold, we have to find the positives, right? So we had sunshine today.
Sunshine was
That
nice.
helped. That's right.
Beautiful sunset.
Yes, it was.
And we get to see a sunset this time of the day, which
that is true.
Right, not that long ago, it was complete darkness.
Another positive.
There you go. That's 3 right
We
there in a
almost
matter
got
of 20
above
seconds.
zero.
We made it 2-0.
At least officially at the Rockford Airport,
yeah,
right?
and there were some places
Still
that
not
made it
above
to
0,
1.
but
I mean,
we have to
we're going to get there.
count our small victories, right?
Before it's squashed again by the
Yeah.
end of the week.
There's plenty of single digits behind you on that screen.
Yeah, and a lot of numbers that have the minus sign in front of them too, unfortunately, still. Now, tonight, we are going to drop down to 6 below. We still do have a wind chill advisory that remains in effect for all of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. Wind chills tomorrow morning will be down as low as 25 degrees below zero, so frostbite on exposed skin can occur in a matter of about 30 minutes. So, again, you just got to make sure you're dressing up and for the weather into tomorrow. 13, 14 Wednesday, Thursday, but that does come with a chance for some lighter snow showers Wednesday evening, and then again Thursday. May see some minor accumulations with that and some slick conditions too. 30s by next week.
Thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.